Welcome back, everybody. It's Andrew here. Now, Chuck Schumer just said, quote unquote, we made progress in regards to getting multiple things done in Congress, including the next stimulus package, stimulus checks for seniors, and voting right changes that Democrats want to enact. So let's discuss the details, what just happened, and what we expect to happen next. But before we jump into it, do me a quick favor, hit like, hit subscribe, and share this channel with anyone who you think might find this helpful. This is a community for seniors, and my job here is to be a voice for you and be a voice for seniors to make sure President Biden keeps his promise to increase Social Security, increase SSI and SSDI, and even approve a stimulus check for seniors in this next stimulus package. So thank you so much for being a part of our community, and my job here is to bring you guys the news that affects seniors the most, whether that be Social Security changes, what's happening in Congress, what's happening with the economy, the stock market, everything across the board that could help seniors, including a stimulus check for seniors, which of course Bernie Sanders is trying to include in this package. Now, Chuck Schumer said they made massive progress when it comes to changing the filibuster, which would allow Democrats to approve multiple packages like the stimulus check package, stimulus check for seniors, increased Social Security benefits, things like voting rights, other things Democrats want to do. We're going to talk about that in just a sec, but before we jump into it, let's do a quick update on daily trending news. Now, Kyrsten Sinema, of course, she has been opposing pretty much everything Democrats want to get done, including stimulus checks for seniors and things like the next stimulus package. Well, recently, the Senate in Arizona officially censured Kyrsten Sinema. And let's quickly talk about what that means. We won't spend too much time on this, but the definition of censure is a formal statement of disapproval, however, that can have a powerful psychological effect on a member and his or her relationship with the Senate. Now, this is something that really is just basically a slap on the wrist, but it is an official condemnation from the Senate in Arizona who helped Kyrsten Sinema get elected, telling her that they're not happy with what she's doing, and they're not supporting her going forward. So really what this means is going forward, if she wants to run as a Democrat once again, she's probably not going to have the support of the Democratic Party and everything that comes along with that, like funding, campaigning, advertisements, things like that, boots on the ground trying to get votes. So really this is putting Kyrsten Sinema in a situation where she's going to have to get on board, or at some point down the road, she's going to have to switch to the Republican Party. So that's something we're monitoring. They have officially censured Kyrsten Sinema in Arizona, and that's really kind of a slap on the wrist, but politically it could have ramifications going forward. Will Kyrsten Sinema end up flipping to the Republican Party? That would actually take away the majority that Democrats have in the Senate. Will Kyrsten Sinema get on board and help Democrats approve the stimulus package and stimulus checks for seniors? We'll have to see what happens. But basically, things are heating up between Kyrsten Sinema and Democrats in specifically Arizona in the Senate. So this is something that could potentially start changing. And Bernie Sanders actually recently held an interview just last night saying that they did the right thing by censuring Kyrsten Sinema in Arizona. So let's take a quick look. Bernie held an interview. Let's see what he had to say. He's going to talk about Kyrsten Sinema, the stimulus package, what they're going to do going forward, and their plan to now approve chunks of the package, hopefully stimulus checks for seniors. So let's take a look, see what Bernie said. Then we'll discuss what Chuck Schumer just said and why he said they made progress when it comes to getting all these things done.
Here we are 1 year into the Biden presidency. Those two key priorities are stalled in the Senate, the social spending bill and climate bill, the election reform legislation. It's because Senators Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema won't get on board. How frustrated are you?
Well, it's not only those two, it is 50 Republicans who have been adamant not only in pushing an anti-democratic agenda, but also opposing our efforts to try to lower the cost of prescription drugs, trying to expand Medicare to include dental, hearing, and eyeglasses, to improve the disastrous situation in home health care, in child care, to address the existential threat of climate change. You got 50 Republicans who don't want to do anything except criticize the president. And then you have, sadly enough, 2 Democrats who choose to work with the Republicans rather than the president, and who have sabotaged the president's effort to address the needs of working families in this country. Is it frustrating? It sure is. But my view, Dana, is we need a new direction, a new approach in the Senate. I think after 6 months of negotiating so-called negotiating behind closed doors with Senators Manchin and Senator Sinema. We need to start voting. We need to bring important pieces of legislation that impact the lives of working families right onto the floor of the Senate. And if the Republicans want to vote against lowering the cost of prescription drugs, climate change, home health care, whatever it may be, and if the two Democrats want to join them, let the American people see what's happening. Then we can pick up the pieces and pass legislation.
So I want to get to
the current course of action. Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I want to get to more of that and really drill down on what you mean by that in 1 second. But while we're talking about the two Democratic senators, you saw, I'm sure, that the Arizona Democratic Party censured Senator Sinema. Was that appropriate?
Absolutely it was. And it is so important that we protect American democracy.
Would you be willing to campaign against either Senator Sinema and or Senator Manchin in a Democratic primary?
Well, that's a long way coming. They're not up until 2024. But if there were strong candidates in those states who were prepared to stand up for working families, who understand that the Democratic Party has got to be the party of working people taking on big money interests, if those candidates were there in Arizona and West Virginia, yes, I would be happy to support them.
Okay, so Bernie's saying that Arizona Democrats did the right thing by censuring Kyrsten Sinema. Hopefully this pushes her towards helping them approve stimulus checks for seniors, things like expanding Medicare, which would help seniors as well, more affordable housing. There's so many things in this package that would help seniors. But now, obviously, Democrats have really conceded that they're going to slim it down even more and just approve chunks of the package. So we should have a lot of updates in the next few weeks, folks, as to what's going to be included. Will it still include the stimulus check for seniors? Will it include things that help seniors like expanding Medicare, expanding affordable housing, and lowering prescription drug costs? We should have a lot of updates to come, so don't forget to subscribe. I will keep you posted as things develop. Now, all of this is centering around changing the filibuster. We've talked about it at length in like my last 10 videos, that at this point, Democrats are trying to change the filibuster rules, which would allow them to do multiple smaller packages with just 51 votes, instead of having to do just one massive package per year. This would open the door to easier negotiations through doing smaller packages that are a lot less complex and make it easier to get Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema on board. So, for example, they could do a standalone package to lower prescription drug costs. Then they could do a standalone package to approve stimulus checks for seniors. And then each one of those packages could include something that Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema want as well. So if that kind of makes sense. So they're working on changing the filibuster, and Chuck Schumer just said that they, quote unquote, we made progress. And to be honest with you, it's a little bit of a mixed bag here. And quite frankly, I don't really think it's progress. I mean, maybe in the sense of they're putting some pressure on Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin, but so far over the last 6 months, they really haven't responded to pressure. And what Chuck Schumer is referring to is that they officially brought this to a vote, and they asked every single Democrat, do you or do you not support changing the filibuster? And 48 out of the 50 Senate Democrats said yes. And as you know, folks, the only two who said no were Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin. So in Chuck Schumer's eyes, they made progress by getting them on the record and showing the American people that 48 Senate Democrats say yes, change the filibuster so we could approve more stimulus. They could do other things that Democrats want to do, like change voting rights and immigration laws, things like that. But they could also do stimulus checks for seniors and Social Security increases. This would allow them to do a standalone package to increase Social Security benefits with just 51 votes, not needing a single Republican vote. And Chuck Schumer said that it's progress, that now they have everyone on the table. They have everyone saying they support it or they don't. And he's taking this as a message to the American people to say, hey, Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema don't support changing the filibuster. And really what that means to them, to Chuck Schumer and Democrats, is Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema don't support increasing Social Security benefits. They don't support expanding Medicare to include vision, hearing, and dental. They don't support lowering prescription drug costs. They don't support stimulus checks for seniors or monthly stimulus checks for families. They don't support affordable housing for seniors. So to Chuck Schumer, it's progress that, hey, now the American people have it on record that if nothing gets done, it's Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin's fault. So let me know in the comments, folks. Do you consider that progress? Personally, I really don't. I mean, it's somewhat of maybe a baby step towards getting something done. I mean, maybe they can get a smaller stripped down package, But really, it's kind of, at most, it's a baby step, right? It's a baby step of progress. And I mean, I'm not losing hope here, folks, but it's going to take a lot longer than we hoped, right? I do think we're going to get the check for seniors. I do think we're going to get Social Security increases. I do think we're going to get Medicare expanded and more affordable housing, lowering prescription drug costs, all these things that are going to help seniors. I really do think we're going to get them. It's going to take so much longer than we hoped. And really the problem here is Chuck Schumer, now the Senate Majority Leader, he doesn't have Mitch McConnell as an excuse. Back in the day, with the first two stimulus packages, really Mitch McConnell was standing in the way. We couldn't get anything done because of Mitch. Well, now he's gone. He's the minority leader, and Chuck Schumer is the majority leader. So he should be getting these deals done. He should be finding a way to get Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema on board. Let me know in the comments if you agree. It's his job to get the deal done. Throw something in there that these guys want. Throw something in there for Joe Manchin and for Kyrsten Sinema. Get the deal done, but get the stimulus checks for seniors. Get Social Security increases done. Get SSI and SSDI increases done as well. Get Medicare expanded. All these things that seniors need, Chuck Schumer needs to find a way to get this done. And it's not just to help seniors. Democrats are going to get wiped out in these midterm elections in November unless they get something done, folks. Everyone across the board knows that the problem here is Chuck Schumer can't get the deal done, and what's going to end up happening is in November, Democrats are going to get hit with a red wave, and they're going to lose control of both chambers, the Senate and the House, unless they do something big. And everyone is talking about this. House Minority Leader McCarthy was talking about the fact that Democrats are probably going to get wiped out, and political experts across the board are saying that unless something gets done, they're going to lose control of both the House and the Senate, and that could be a good thing for you. If you vote Republican, that's fine. Half of my viewers vote Republican, and half of my viewers vote Democrat. But the thing is, for the purposes of this channel, if you want Social Security increases and you want SSI and SSDI increases and things like expanding Medicare and lowering prescription drug costs, these are all things that really Republicans, unfortunately, aren't going to do. Now, there's other things Republicans might do that you agree on, like immigration and kind of things about taxes and things like that. But when it comes to the topics on this channel, Social Security, Medicare, SSI, SSDI, prescription drug costs, affordable housing, Republicans, quite frankly, they're not going to do those things. So if Democrats get wiped out in the midterms, to be honest with you, going forward in Biden's presidency, it's going to be really hard to get any of these things done that we talk about on this channel. And really, Republicans are slamming Democrats, saying that Americans can't wait for the midterm elections to take place. Now, let me know in the comments. Is that true? Are you waiting for the midterms, and are you just waiting for Republicans to take control of the Senate and the House? Or do you hope Democrats can maintain control going forward in the Senate? Now, just to recap, that would leave President Biden as a sitting duck for his last 2 years in office, and really not a whole lot would get done. It would really be like an obstruction, 2 years of pretty much nothing getting done, maybe some basic bare bones stuff. We'd really be waiting for 2024 for anything substantial to get done. Again, that would create a situation where Republicans might get some things done that favor Republican voters, but nothing like Social Security increases, SSI, SSDI, or stimulus checks for seniors. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. And folks, don't forget to subscribe. We're going to have a lot of updates in the next couple of weeks when it comes to Social Security changes, the next stimulus package, stimulus checks for seniors, and increasing SSI and SSDI as well. Now, to end this video, I'm going to leave you with a clip from Republican Leader of the House, Kevin McCarthy, discussing the fact that he thinks Republicans are going to give Democrats a red wave, take control of both the House and the Senate, and he actually thinks that this is what the American people want. So let's take a look, see what Republicans had to say. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you on the next video.
One of the things the president said in his press conference the other day is that he can't explain, he doesn't know what Republicans stand for. One of the things that happened in the press conference is you did not have any questions on crime at all. We just had Jesse Waters on. He went and talked to a diverse group of people down there at Union Square, and he said everybody from every walk of life said crime was the thing that they want him to cover on his new primetime show. Are the Democrats just completely missing this issue as you're out there campaigning? Is that something that you could tell President Biden that the Republican Party is for?
I can tell them what a lot were for, but the Democrats aren't just missing it, they're causing the crime. Their election of their DAs, the movement of defunding of the police. I just saw our governor, he's like shocked because now we have train robberies in California again. But it's been happening for months, and he goes down there and he says, oh my God, this looks like gangs, then apologizes for using the word gangs like he offended somebody. We're watching this in city after city that's going forward, and these are Democrat-driven. If the president wants to know what we're for food on our shelves. We're for kids back in our schools. We're for a border that's secure. We're for safe streets and neighborhoods going forward. We're for small businesses that can open, not be closed, not have mandates put upon them. The idea of freedom going forward. We're for American energy to be independent, not that we bring Russian natural gas into America. We're for America having a pipeline, not Putin so he can control Europe. There are so many items that we're for, but I believe that's what the American public is for. And in 290 days and 13 hours, I think the American public is going to be able to have that.
Who's counting? I got it.
Off the top
290
of your
days.
head.
The American public is counting
they
because
are.
they're frustrated what
I
is
think so.
happening. And all this president does is blame somebody else. So if you really want to join with us, go to firepelosi.com.